Well, hello there. As a musician or producer or whatever we like to call ourselves, right? We use a lot of tools in creating our music. Now, I happen to use Band in a Box if a song is what I consider to be more melodic based or more acoustic based. But when it's time to giddy up, I like to use music loops. When I want to do disco, stepping, club type music, I use music loops because it fits better for me. It gives me that feel I'm looking for, and I actually enjoy it. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I took a song, took a 30-second sample, and created an entire 3-minute song using only music loops. So hold on tight. I'm going to go up to the console, and I'm going to show you guys how Henry used music loops to create a 3-minute song from 30-second loop. Hold on one second. So this is a song I created using only commercial loops because I wanted the actual feel of this song. I thought it had a pretty good feel, and it had this change in it that I thought was just irresistible. And the song goes like this. I just love this groove. Had a nice intro, 8-part intro. Play a little bit of it, okay? Just so you know. Yeah, I thought this part was this change was just irresistible. I had to jump on it. So that's enough. That's a minute of that. But how did I take a loop and create this entire song from a loop? And this was the original loop. I'm going to show you guys the original loop was 30 seconds long. So I created this entire song from just a 30-second loop. This is one of my loop kits, and I just played. This is all I had to work with. I'm going to play it for you guys. All I had to work with. This is what they gave me. 33 seconds. But it has great tones in it. It was a set of a disco loop kit that I had purchased. That's it. That's all they gave me was just that. And this song has done actually reasonably well on the streaming platforms. Look at the graph right here, and you can see how the song has been played. I think it's like over 4,000 plays, right? Not a top song, but a nice filler for people who like to listen to my music. They kind of like this song here, right? So anyway, so again, I had 33 seconds to create an entire song from this loop. The song is like maybe 3 minutes and 11 seconds or something like that. So how did I do that? Well, when you get a loop kit, and this is a lot of loop kits, some of them are different, some of them are more complex, some of them are more extended than others. So this is what they gave me. In this loop kit, they gave me 3 backing sections of the song. No drums, just backing sections of the song. That's one section. This is another section. And this is another section. Actually, they gave me 4 backing sections. And they gave me these 4 backing sections. They gave me the bass guitar, 4 basses. They gave me bongos. They gave me bottles, which was interesting. They gave me a cabasa, a clap, and so on and so forth. And you can see here what they gave me. They gave me different pianos. They gave me kicks for the drums. They gave me a full drum set. Combined, they gave me a drum set, and they gave me these separate instruments in the drum set, which was very, very important as I moved down and started putting the song together. And they also gave me, I'm turning these claps off, and they also gave me the different guitars and bells and strings and stuff like that. So they gave me enough to take this 33 seconds and create a full song from here. So again, so I had to figure out how I wanted to put this 33 seconds together and make an extended song out of it, right? So what I did was I listened and I said, okay, so if I take certain sections, and certain sections serve well as they are, I can use those sections, and I can use the other sections by expanding them out with the different instruments that I wanted to use. And I'll just mute the vocals here. So for example, I wanted an 8-bar intro prior to the vocalist starting. So I took section 1 and I took section 2 because I thought that had a nice start. Here you section 1 and section 2, and I put a drum loop in there to add to that, right? So that gave me, just right off the bat, that gave me my first 8 bars as my intro. Now, to extend that out, when I want to do the verse, the first part of the verse, I went to here, which is my verse starts at bar 9, and I expanded the backing part for part 1 by using some of the instruments, not all of the instruments in there, but some of the instruments in part 1 and band part 2, backing part 2. So I use the piano, drum set is normal, but I use the piano, I use the bass. If you notice the bass for part 1 and part 2, I use the rhythm guitar for part 1 and part 2, and I use the synth bells in the second half of the verse. And so in other words, I use this bass, I use piano 1, I use electric piano 1. Actually, I didn't even use a regular piano. I just used electric piano. Took the regular piano out. I use rhythm guitar. Let me use rhythm guitar. And I felt those instruments gave me just enough to get started with the verse. Notice I didn't use a normal piano. I didn't use a picking guitar. I didn't use any of that. So when I started the second half of the first verse, I used the piano, the bass, the rhythm guitar, and I brought in some bells, just some nice little synth bells to just give it a nice little tone. They're low, but they're there. Just enough of a tone. So that gave me the first 8 bars of vocals. For the second 8 bars of vocals, I wanted to change it up just a little bit. So I still used the pattern for part 1 and part 2, but I used the piano, the bass, and then I brought in the strings and the picking guitar. I thought that would create a nice tension and a nice dynamic prior to me getting to my pre-chorus. So here I have my bass, my piano. Again, I'm not using the regular piano. I'm using just the electric piano, my picking guitar. Now, if I find my picking guitar for part 1, and that's what the picking guitar is playing. And I use the strings of part 1, only the strings of part 1. That's for the first 4 bars. And for the second 4 bars, I used the strings, the picking guitar, and the bass and the piano. Only those instruments. If I had have used the full backing track, it would have included everything. It would have included electric guitar, electric piano. It would have included all of that. So I didn't want all of those elements in the second half of my verse. So now I've done my 16 bars of verse and I'm heading into my pre-chorus. What I found about the pre-chorus is that I liked it as it was. I didn't felt the need to change it. So my pre-chorus, I'm using the stock, what they gave me. They gave me a backing, which is part 3. Because I love that part. So they gave me that. And they gave me a part 4 where they wrap it up, which has got the nice little trill on the end. So I think that pre-chorus is great. It set me up for my full hook, and my hook is, of course, 8 bars long. And in my hook, I went back and grabbed part 1. I'm using the entire backing track for part 1 and adding extra just for extra tone, so that because I want to raise the volume on a couple of instruments in that backing track. So I brought in the electric piano, the bass, and the rhythm guitar because, like I said, I want to add extra volume to those parts. And I did the same thing for the second part, which gives me my hook. This is where my hook is. So now I'm getting ready to start the second verse. And now I'm just cutting and pasting. I'm doing the same thing over again. I may change a few things, but pretty much I'm doing the same thing over again. So now I've got through my hook, right? I'm going to go back to where my song started. Not the entire song, but when I started singing at my verse. And I'm going to duplicate that part all over again. So I duplicate that part all over again. I only add the picking guitar and the strings for the second half of the song. And I go all the way through again, all the way through my hook. And I'm taking you all the way through my hook. Now, because of the fact that I did the first half and the second half, and I hope you're following me. I hope I'm not going too fast. Because I did the first half and the second half, and my second half, I'm coming off a hook, I needed something different to make it just that little bit different prior to getting toward the end of the song. At this point, I am 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the song, which means I'm all the way through the song, but I need something that I can hold the audience with to finish out the song with me. So I went to a break, a percussion break. So I've got my bass guitar that I used from part one and part two, my rhythm guitar, my picking guitar, but instead of having the entire drum set playing, I pulled out the snare and the clap and the kick. So I've got my snare, my clap, and my kick for the first half of the break. And for the second half of the break, I brought in the hi-hat and the bongos, which I thought made a huge difference. So again, and I'm going to hear in a second, see how it all flows together. But that's what I did here. So if I go through this again, I started the song. Oh, this is intro. And when I started singing, I set myself up. See, all that other stuff is gone now. And I'll bring the vocals in so you can hear what it sounds like with the vocals. Notice I brought a violin in, I brought strings in, I brought a picking guitar in, just to give it that little bit extra. So I'm making it different without really making it different. That makes sense. I'm making a difference without making a difference, right? You know, but it makes a difference when you do that. Just sometimes just bringing an extra instrument in can make a huge difference in your vocal delivery and how it sounds overall. So now I'm heading to my pre-chorus. Pre-chorus. And I also have background vocals under my voice to emphasize that. Take me right into my hook. And I thought it was really important setting the hook up is this little trill that the strings do really sets that hook up very nice. And I'm in my hook. Same basic instruments. And I'm going to 8 bells in there. Into my second verse, heading into my second verse. And I'm into my second verse. So like I said, I went through the entire second verse. I'm not going to take you through all of that. Into the entire second verse. And when I got to the end of the second verse, this is my pre-chorus here. And this is my hook for my second verse hook. So when I got to the end of the second verse, like I said, I wanted something just a little bit different to break, just to take a short break. So when I come to the end of the second verse, I'm going to start from about right here. At the end of the second verse. And I went to a break. Look, it's just drums and bass. I'm bringing those bongos. Which took me back to my pre-chorus. So then once I came out of that break, instead of going back to the intro verse part, I went directly to the pre-chorus. So I come out of the break, go back into the pre-chorus, which brings me back into my chorus. Again, I'm coming out of my percussion break. Now I'm in my pre-chorus. To my hook. I'm going to repeat my hook 2 or 3 times just so I can fade it out, right? I use automation. I probably got some automation here on the fade. To have some automation on my master fader so that to know I want to fade out the songs. As the master fader will automatically move. If you watch the fader, you'll see down here. You'll see my master fader start moving down. The master fader coming down, and I'll cut the song from there. So basically that's how the song is put together. I like writing music. I like writing to music. I know some people, they create their melody first or they may sing first. I kind of look at it, I do it better the other way. Is I let music inspire me. I let the backing track inspire me to create a groove from there, which is what I did here. But if I want something that's, I'll just say it has a certain groove to it. Like I think this has this smooth, almost a stepping groove. I find that samples fit the case better than Band in the Box, so I decided to use samples. And the testament is that the song actually was well received. Again, it's maybe not as well received as some of my other songs, but it was really, really well received. And of course, I enjoyed putting it together also because I just loved the sample part of the pre-chorus. I thought that was just so fantastic. So that's where we are. And again, I didn't want to just have you guys sit here and watch me drop and drag, files left and right. I think that's kind of boring. I just wanted to show you how I used this section over here of the samples that they gave me, the extracts that they gave me. And most of these extracts actually are just 4-bar extracts. A lot of times they make your samples in either 4 or 8-bar extracts, which allows you more flexibility in putting the song together. I could also change the key if I want to. Now I'm using BandLab, so I can't tell you how to do it in all of your DAWs, right? But if I highlight a sample, and I do this a lot too also, if I highlight a sample here, I can go here to the groove clip and I can see what key it's in, and I can actually change the tempo, and I can change the reference note, which will change the actual tone of the sample or change the actual key of the sample. So I do that sometimes, depending on what I'm doing with a song and whether I like the way the groove is put together, because sometimes the groove is put together, but it's not a key that I can comfortably sing in. So I like the groove. I'll just go in and change the key. And also in BandLab, you've got this preview bus, which is right here, right? Which is really nice because in this preview bus, again, I can play these sounds and get an idea of what they sound like before I take and I drag them over into my DAW. I hope this helps you guys. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want you guys to see me drag every single sample over. I just want you guys to get an idea of actually how I put the song together, which I thought was really, really good. I've tried to import loops into Band in the Box, and I found it so tedious that I just gave up on it. I'll be honest with you guys. I just gave up on it. I found out that the clock didn't always adjust appropriately. I had to go and tap through Audio Wizard or something like that. I don't have time for that. I really don't. Again, my whole motto is less programming, more music. I'm just like that. Less programming, more music. That's what I'm after. So again, I hope this helps you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Comments always welcome. I probably left something out that might have been important. I hope not, but I'm just trying to give you the gist of how I use samples in creating music. Talk to you guys later and have a great day. Bye.